Hello and welcome everybody to our event, which we advertised on LinkedIn on the 25th of February. And that's to introduce you to Breathe, which is an opportunity to reclaim your biological capacity to lead. And I'm so excited. Jax and I are really, really excited because this is something really, really close to our heart. We both have worked in high pressure environments. I have a history of over 30 years in conference management, which I saw quite a few of you who RSVP'd for the event is actually from the hospitality and the events management industry. And it is a huge pressure pot. So I understand it, and finding a gap to just research your nervous system is so very, very important. And Jax and I are both very passionate about this, and we have created something very special just for you. Jax, I don't know if you want to say hello.
Yeah, hello everyone. And so Caro sort of comes from the event management background. Me personally, I understand the entrepreneurial space very well. I have connections. I've worked in a business incubator. I've built my own businesses that have, some have failed, some have succeeded. So I understand the pressures, the high pressures of being a business owner and what it takes to actually build a sustainable, profitable long-term business, and it's not for sissies. So if there are any entrepreneurs here, welcome. We see you, we understand you, we know how hard that can be as well. And this is really appropriate and relevant for many, many industries, but we understand these industries specifically because we've been there.
Awesome. So, what are we going to talk about today? Well, breathe is an opportunity for you to reset. It's a doorway into stillness. And when was the last time that you actually experienced stillness? Um, and you were able to just sit and do nothing and just breathe. I mean, look at this guy on the left here of the screen. He just looks like he's absorbing the sunlight and breathing. And that is what we want to bring to you. So, what brought us to this point is that it seems like there's an epidemic in the world, or a pandemic actually in the world at the moment, of overwhelm, uh, burnout, stressed, and anxiety. And this is across all industries. It's not only in the events industry, which I know extremely well. It's across many, many industries. There's so many people who go to work every day. You high achievers. You have to put on that facade to be the person that you need to be to do that job. In the meantime, in the background, you're running your home and your family. You've possibly got kids, and it seems to be that it's not getting better. It's actually getting worse. And the more connected we are with devices and with email, and especially since COVID, where we had to learn to work wherever we were, it seems like it's getting much worse. We have to do something about this before there's a total collapse. And that is why
Yeah.
we've created Breathe. So, we're going to talk about something that leaders rarely quantify, and that is the biological cost of leadership. And think about it. What is the biological cost? The cost to your health, your physical health, your mental health, for the role that you're playing in life today. What is it, the toll that it's taking? Jax, can you expand a little bit on that for us?
Yeah. So I just want to take a little step back, Caro, and just add to what you're saying in terms of context, right? We had COVID, which changed everything. It changed the playing fields. And for a lot of people, it actually triggered a biological response, a fight, flight, freeze, fawn response in their bodies. We were actually activated, and not a lot of people even understand necessarily how COVID worked with our biology. Then we have AI happening, and it is changing the landscape of everything. Technology is changing the landscape. So we've got our traditional industries and how we used to work, and then what happened with COVID, and then we've got the new. And we are somewhere in between the traditional and the new, and new ways of operating. And our biology has not necessarily caught up. So we haven't understood that we have to change the way we do things to be able to withstand the pressures of the way life and business and economics and environment is changing around us. We need to sort of upgrade our hardware. We can't run new software on old hardware. It's going to implode. And so I always use the rocket metaphor to explain, because then people get it immediately. And I'm saying, imagine your business is a rocket and you want to launch it to the moon. Okay, that's your outcome, your legacy, your vision, your impact, whatever it is that you're trying to achieve as a business, whether a business owner or a big corporate. We all have our objectives and our goals. It's to get to the moon. If you don't have a solid launch pad, a solid foundation, okay, if your vessel does not have the structural integrity, if it's not solid, if there are leaks in your fuel pipelines, if you have biological bottlenecks, and if your systemic resilience is not strong enough, the G-force of trying to actually achieve what you want to, the high pressure, high stakes G-force of success, your rocket is going to collapse or implode on launch. And then also, if there isn't alignment, right? If your navigation system isn't aligned with where you're going and you're 1% off, you're going to land up way away from where you want to actually go, because that force is just going to knock you off course. So that's quite a nice metaphor to explain that whole idea of the G-force of growth and change in a business context. And in engineering, if your structural integrity is weak, it's going to collapse. And leadership is no different, especially in high stakes, high pressure industries.
Yeah.
And there are quite a few, like we've mentioned, and many more. I think everyone's feeling it.
Yeah. I think it's so right and so relevant what you've just mentioned. And thank you for that metaphor. It's a great example to make it, very clear to me on how this works and how important it is to have the foundation. And just coming back to the structural integrity and the biological cost of leadership, when I was in conference and events management, I was in that industry for over 30 years, as a project manager, and just the sustained, constant pressure of the industry and of the work that you did, and you're always on. So you're working with people all the time. No matter how they treat you, you've got to smile. You've got to, show them that everything's okay. You've got to be calm. You can't even let them catch on that there might be something going on in the background. Because the minute they catch on, then, there's panic and mayhem, etc. So you always had to be the person to calm them down and everything. And the cost on your system, the cost on my system, after all those years, I landed up being diagnosed with autoimmune disease. And I know that this is something that a lot of people are grappling with in the events industry, and not only in that industry. There are many other industries that are now working under that kind of pressure. I see it with pharmaceutical companies, with the creative industries as well. If you're producing a video and you've got a deadline that you've got to submit this to the client, you're under so much pressure and possibly working so many long hours, not getting the sleep in and the rest that you need, and yet you've still got to be creative. And the thing is that pressure actually shuts down your whole creative system, because now you're in fight and flight mode. So, yeah, I just wanted to bring that point across. So let's look at the structural cost. You talk about energy capital liquidation. Now, when we look at the example that I've just given in conference and events, the fact that you're an event manager and you're standing there and you've got all these people in front of you and you're looking after them all the time and you're looking after their needs and keeping them happy and making them feel safe, that's a huge energy exchange, you know? And what are you doing to fix that, your deficit of energy that you're giving so freely to everybody else? Um, so that's how I'm relating to this energy capital liquidation that you're talking about. Would you like to expand on it a bit more?
You know, Caro, you speak about it in the events industry, but it's in every single industry, because if you understand that as human beings, we are actually energy. That is what we are made up of. We are sound and light that vibrates at a frequency that is energy. And each single person is given a certain amount of energy for their lifetime. It's not infinite. It's like time. There are so many hours in the day. There is so much energy available to us. And we think it's unlimited and infinite, but it's actually not. And so you can't keep using this energy as if it's never going to run out. It's not sustainable. And as time goes by, okay, our biology changes, our biochemistry changes, our hormones change. As we age, we just don't have the same kind of energy reserves. And so we have to look at what are we actually doing with our energy, and how are we preserving it, and how are we focusing it, and how are we protecting it, and how are we using it, and where are we draining it. It's like the fuel, right, that powers the rockets. And if there are leaks in the pipeline, okay, we're leaking energy, we're not going to get to that moon, okay? And then our efforts become unsustainable and we actually burn out. You know, when you've applied yourself, you've run a project, and then you don't even have time to like refuel before the next project. Okay. You never re-energize or replenish your reserves, and eventually you're just burnt out and depleted. And so your performance is actually funded by this energy reserve in your cognitive reserves, your health, your clarity. You're just leaking all of that energy.
That's so true. And the other thing is that, if you look at the analogy of the rockets, if you don't take the time to maintain your rocket and do the slight repairs, which means you have to have a bit of downtime, and that's simple things. Your rocket could be your body, for instance, looking after yourself, going for a walk, having a good night's rest. Those things are important. If you don't take time to maintain your rocket is not going to carry on forever and ever. It's going to, let you down and get stuck in the middle of space somewhere.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it's very important to actually look after yourself, to invest time and energy in your own health and mental health. But now that we've touched on the nervous system, you started talking about that. Can you tell us what the nervous system bottleneck looks like and feels like? What is that all about?
Before I do that, I just want to take a step back and talk to why a lot of interventions that we think are helping us don't actually help us. And it's because we're in this always on in our cognitive space, right? We're in strategy, we're in thinking, we're in doing, we're in planning mode, we're in action mode. And when we try to solve it with more information, okay, we're just adding to the problem. Okay. Whereas the problem is actually a nervous system problem. It's not a strategy problem. So you can't out strategy the
Right.
burnout problem. We have to go deeper into the nervous system and the biology. So
Right.
let me talk about a bottleneck.
Yes.
And I'm just going to keep it very high level because in our series, we're going to unravel what the bottlenecks are actually in different industries because they're different. Different people have got different bottlenecks, but there's 5 levels of a bottleneck. Okay, when you hit a burnout or a always on or a overwhelm, there's 5 levels of something going on. The first level is a mental level. There's thoughts and beliefs that have been triggered by your circumstance, your environment, and what's going on. I don't want to go too deep into it and use examples, but let's say, for example, high level, you hit a cash flow crisis. Immediately you think, I don't have enough money. What am I going to do? How am I going to pay my bills? How am I going to look after my children? I can't, I'm not. And it starts triggering some thoughts, some self-limiting beliefs. Level 1. Okay. Level 2, emotional constriction. So you then start feeling the fear, the anxiety, the panic in your body. Okay, your heart rate goes up, your blood vessels constrict, your cheeks go flushed. It happens in a physiological level. Brain fog kicks in. You can't think clearly. So these are the ways you know you've actually hit fear or anxiety. Your body's telling you. Okay, it's emotion. And so it goes from an emotion of fear or anxiety or panic or terror to a physiological response. So that's the 3rd level of a bottleneck, how you'll know you've hit a bottleneck. You feel it in your physiology. You'll feel it in your neck. Tension in your neck is a bottleneck. Your energy is trapped there. Like churning in your gut, that anxiety that you wake up every morning and it doesn't go away. There's a bottleneck that you've hit. It needs resolution. Okay, so that's those levels. And then beyond physiology, there's need. So often there's underneath that, there's an unmet need, something that we needed at a particular point in time that we never got, whether it was somebody to say, hey, I see you stressing. Can I help? I see you stressing. Everything's going to be okay. I see you stressing. I'm here for you. You're not doing this all alone. That need, I see that you're under threat and under siege. It's okay. You are actually safe. And we don't receive that kind of meeting of our needs because we don't even know often what it is that we need in that moment underneath the bottleneck.
Sure.
Okay, we've not brought that up to the surface.
Yeah.
And it's often a need that was never met earlier on in our lives. And it's playing itself out now when we've actually been triggered.
Yeah.
And then the last piece is the energetic impact. That's the piece we don't see. And that's the drainage. I'm exhausted. I'm fatigued. I wake up in the morning and I feel like I've been hit by a bus after a full night's sleep. I'm just completely depleted and worn out at an energetic level. And when you're always on and you're not replenishing the system, that's the outcome. Is you just feel flattened and you've got no capacity. You don't have capacity to actually hold the growth that you're trying to achieve. You're literally trying to survive. You're in your fight, flight, freeze, survival mode.
Great. So thanks for explaining that, Jax. It makes it nice and clear. And now that we have the background, let's talk about Breathe 2026. Now, just to put it into perspective for everyone out there, Jax and I have put together, we've got a whole pipeline of retreats and very interesting courses and things that we have in development, which we're going to let you know about. But the main focus always comes back to this concept of nervous system release, coming back into balance. And it's specifically aimed at high achievers, business owners, people who are always on. And you could be a high achiever in the workplace. You could be a high achiever in your home environment. Okay. But that person who's always on and always expected to be on top of things, and you're always out there on show doing what you need to do, but you're not taking the time to look after yourself, this is for you. Okay. So let's talk about Breathe 2026, which is our first offer. And it's our retreat, which has been carefully designed to unblock biological bottlenecks that we've been talking about. It's a 3-day sacred architecture designed to restore, structural integrity and adaptive capacity. So, Jax, do you want to run through the structure of Breathe? Is there a slide in this deck with the...
Yeah, there is. There is.
Okay, let me
So
find
if you
it
go to the
quickly.
next. Okay.
Which one is this one? Here. Okay.
That's the structure. But just let's go back a step, because we first start off, before we even get to the retreat, just to the adaptive capacity index. So
Okay.
We start off with a tool to actually assess what is the structural integrity, the adaptive capacity, either of an individual, if it's for a retreat, or even for a corporate team, or an executive team, a corporate team, even a team of line managers. It can apply at any level in an organization or organization-wide. And we can, on these 8 dimensions, see where is the systemic resilience not high? Where is the load capacity not strong enough? So we can identify where are the bottlenecks and where are the leaks. And from there, once we see and we measure, then we go on to the Breathe retreat with that understanding and that information that says, like, where are my weaknesses that I need to actually strengthen in my biology and my own personal structure.
So we're starting out with a very good understanding of where you currently are. And you're going to uncover that for yourself by doing this assessment. And we'll go through your results with you so that you understand them before you go on the retreat. And then let's go through the sequence and why is every step in this process so relevant?
Okay. Well, it's been very carefully curated and designed. So the first thing you have to understand is it's the luxury of spaciousness. So the way we've designed it is over 4 days. It's not a crammed retreat. It gives you the spaciousness to actually breathe. We have created activities sort of in the mornings to help strengthen your structural integrity and adaptive capacity and systemic resilience and resolve the bottlenecks. But we've created a lot of spaciousness to actually allow for integration and to feel what it feels like to actually have the space to breathe. We start off day 1 arriving and just decompressing, like the space to just show up and calm down, and then softening the armor. You know, when you're performing and you're achieving, your whole body is actually clenching. So we want to start off just softening and relaxing, and then to go into our bodies. You know, we often live as talking heads, disconnected from our bodies. So we want to create that connection into our bodies, to feel our bodies, and then entrain the heart brain, to connect the heart with the brain using sound frequencies. Okay. And then with that sort of puts you into a nice state, a quiet, relaxed state, so that you drop down easily into sleep, because sleep is a big problem for many people in high pressure environments. They struggle to sleep deeply.
Yeah.
Okay. Then we go into the deep dive, and that's where we actually look at the capacity assessments and what are you working on. And then we do a little bit of stress release and some repatterning. So this is the core of the retreat, is we actually do a breath repatterning, so that you are creating the capacity, even that you're switching out of that stress state. And we literally are repatterning so that you're operating more from the parasympathetic nervous system, easier to access as your base state. Okay. So then after day 2, we go into day 3, which is expansion, and we're building capacity, and that's understanding through your body how to come into presence, and to strengthen your body using your breath, to strengthen your core, and expanding your awareness. Also understanding that nervous system, your nervous system, when you walk into a room, people don't see what you show them. Their nervous systems feel what your nervous system is actually broadcasting.
Yeah.
So you can look all calm on the outside, but people will actually, that are attuned, are going to feel what's going on under the surface, the anxiety, the stress, they'll feel the performance mask. Okay, so we want to work then with how do you work in either a relationship. Let's say, for example, eventually the stress starts impacting on your home life, right? If you're with the partner, like it's the power couple, and it's learning how to co-regulate your nervous systems so that there's peace and calm, versus a stressed out environment. And then we are future-proofing your nervous system by building this capacity and this new frequency. So it's like, okay, how would it be if I show up in this new frequency? What would that look like and sound like and feel like going forward? Okay, then day 4 is we give you a tool and show you some of these quick hacks. There are about 8 quick tools that you can use before you go into an important meeting, after something's triggered you, to just reset your nervous system and regulate it. So really practical, easy to use, easy to access ways. It doesn't have to be an 8-week program. Literally, you've got a toolbox. And then using that toolbox, you can personalize it around what's actually going to work for you and build your own personal sustainability roadmap with these tools. And then what we do, we've got 30 days after the fact, 30 days of support, and we can see what does that support look like for you. Is it a weekly check-in? Is it an online, a WhatsApp, an email? So we design what kind of support do you need for the next 30 days to integrate. And then 90 days later, we reassess with the Adaptive Capacity Index to see what has shifted over the last 3 months and what support do you still need.
Great. So basically you start with the measurement and you end with the measurement so you can see the results.
Exactly.
And that gives you the tools to make adjustments where necessary. You know, you've got some data to work with, which is fantastic. Okay, so the last bit that we're going to talk about is take-home value. What is the shift that is likely to be experienced through this whole, if you come on this retreat?
Okay, go back a slide or two. There's a slide that says you're going from to, go back there.
Okay.
So what are you doing? You're going from energy capital liquidation, low energy reserves, to sustained capacity. What we're really trying to do is build your operational capacity through building what your nervous system can hold. Okay. Then we're moving from firefighting, reactive firefighting, which so many people live in problem-solving mode, which is always on, to being able to take a step back and gain perspective, to ground, to calm your nervous system, and then to calm down your whole mind so that you're operating from the prefrontal cortex, not the amygdala, which is actually the animal brain reactive. So that you can think more clearly, you can think more creatively, you can solve problems more effectively because you have the strategic clarity and command. Okay. We're going from that always on survival mode, adrenaline, cortisol, all those neurochemicals that are being released into your system all the time, to a more calm, centered authority, more rest, relax, digest, more centered. In your response, more grounded, more here with what's really going on. Okay. And then going from this decision fatigue, I think so many people suffer from, oh my goodness, I don't think I can make another decision at this point.
Yeah.
To, and that a lot of that comes from using your brain to make those decisions.
Yeah.
And this is taking you more into your heart-brain coherence and your heart-gut coherence. So that decision making is coming from a deeper place, not always from your brain, but a more intuitive knowing. And we have access to much more information, resource, intelligence that lives in the collective consciousness. So we just have access to more.
Yeah.
Okay. And then if you go 2 slides, I think 2 or 3 slides.
This way.
I'm going to talk. Yes. So what you're really going to get and what you're going to take home is you're going to get your adaptive capacity index and a one-on-one briefing. So you're going to know exactly where your leaks and your bottlenecks are. You're going to get the 3 nights premium accommodation. We have Breathe in Cape Town, Western Cape, and we have Breathe in Gauteng. You're going to get your biological bottleneck release protocols to take away with you and your personal sustainability roadmap. You're obviously going to get everything that happens on the retreat facilitated. You're going to get your custom neuroscent anchor, and this is a whole nother talk on the power of essential oils to actually regulate your nervous system instantly and immediately. And they're different oils that do different things. Incredibly powerful, and it works at a neurosystem, your nervous system level.
Yeah.
And then obviously the biggest one is your decision making. Clear, coherent, grounded decision making.
Great.
So that's what you're taking away.
And this is what it will cost you. So individual rate is 18,000 Rand per person, and we do have corporate group rates as well. It's taking place, the dates, we haven't actually mentioned the dates, so let's go to the dates. I think it's on the next slide. No.
It's the second slide.
Okay. So let me mention the dates to you. In the Western Cape, we're going to Elandsby, which is it's 150 kilometers from Cape Town. So if you're coming into Cape Town to join the retreat, you will need a mode of transport. And it's from the 24th, which is a Friday, 24th of April to the 27th of April. So the 27th of April is a public holiday. It's on the Monday. And it's going to be in the Western Cape. Then we're going to move to Gauteng, and we're going to do Gauteng from Thursday the 30th of April. Friday the 1st of May is a public holiday, and we're going to go through until Sunday the 3rd of May. So that week where we've got, I think there's 2 or 3 public holidays back to back, is where we've decided to host this retreat. If those dates don't suit you, or if you're from a corporate and you'd like us to run this retreat for your team, let's talk, because this is exactly what we're going to do. It is a program that works. It works with the subconscious programming. It works with your nervous system, with your whole system, actually. It is going to make a huge difference. And take time to rest, to reset, etc. You won't regret it. And Jackson and I are developing other retreats which address different areas of capacity and challenges that we face in our everyday lives. And we'll be sharing those with you as soon as we have the content ready. But breathe is the first one, because we feel it's so important to reset, to relax, to take a time to breathe. Just do nothing. So if you would like to speak to us, here are our details. You can WhatsApp either Jax or myself, and we're here for you, and we're here to help you on this journey.
Yeah. So Caro, also we do have an associate, we're looking for associates, people who have access to high performing achievers, who see the need, who have access to executives in corporates, and business owners, and we're looking to partner with those kind of people who want to really make this accessible. They see the size of the problem and really want to make a difference in their own industries and get the kind of support that we are offering to solve a massive, massive problem in the world at the moment. So yeah.
Great. And the other good news is that every Wednesday we're going to do a quick one of these, just focusing on a short snapshot of what is covered in the Breathe Retreat. So you can also learn something about it and learn about the relevance. We really would like you to join us. This is a fantastic opportunity, especially if you're feeling overwhelmed, if you've got a lot of responsibility sitting on your shoulders and you just need that time to breathe, to reset, to relax, but you also know that you need some help to do it. That's what we're here for. So please join us. Our next topic is going to be about the neuroscience of executive presence. It sounds very fancy, but it's very relevant. So we will share the details with you. It's going to be next Wednesday, and it's going to be short and sweet and to the point. Today, we wanted to give you a basic introduction, so it's maybe a little bit longer. But now that you have the foundation, we're going to touch on some of the key areas that we cover and that we help you with in the retreat. Okay. So thank you for joining us.
Thanks, Caro, and thanks everyone who joined us live, and also welcome everyone who is going to be watching the replay. We hope to see you live on one of our next calls.
Awesome. That would be great. Okie dokes. Thank you so much and goodbye.
Just quickly, the QR code is there. So if you want more information, you can click on the QR code and head on through to our website where there is a lot more information, or you can contact us, like Caro said.
Yeah. And also on the website, you'll be able to book and pay and secure your place, because places are limited. We cannot take more than 12 people on each retreat. So please grab your spot as soon as possible. And we can't wait to walk this journey with you. Okay, bye.
Bye.